tight driver. What do you mean by going at this? I am Dracula.
You know, once the fuse was lit, man, there was no putting that explosion out. I mean, it's kind of interesting to think about what could have been with it, too, because although I love to start with Dracula, I love Lugosi's performance and I love Lugosi and all his stuff, even when he did the Ed Wood stuff later and there was like, and he's kicking over tombstones or whatever. But they wanted Lon Chaney for that, who may have been the greatest actor we've ever seen, even by today's standards.
Yeah, Lon Chaney was in, I guess, their first, what you could call a horror film, but the 1925 Phantom of the Opera. And he was just a master of makeup. He was called the Man of 1,000 Faces. And it was just a huge star in the 20s. And Phantom of the Opera was just a phenomenal film. He also did The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And then when they got into, it was around 1930, they were thinking of doing Dracula. They wanted him. And unfortunately, he died. So never got to do it.
Yeah. Tragic death, an early death. But you wonder what could have been or what would have been. I don't want to take anything away from what Lugosi did. I mean, Lugosi was an interesting character in his own right. He was a World War I survivor, wounded, where I think he may have started his drug habit, was probably in rehab for that. But was there ever a makeup test with Chaney as Dracula? Is what I know they did London After Midnight, and that was really an impressive look. But did they ever do one for him?
I don't think they did, because that was about a year and a half before they got into it. And I don't think they did a test for it. And I'm not sure whether Chaney wanted to do it because there wasn't a great deal of makeup to be done on it. I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that. Actually, I think he may have done some makeup tests based on Nosferatu, the German Dracula film, which was really astounding. And he may have looked into that and worked a little with that. I'm not really sure, but that's a possibility.
Yeah, it's interesting to imagine what his take would have been. I mean, what he had done on Hunchback. And I mean, that's the best part of Universal and being based at Universal is when you could take the golf cart over to where those sets were, the old Dracula sets, the old Frankenstein village. And now they've gutted it. They kept some for the Good Place to be the set for the Good Place, but you know, you'd see where they'd done the Hunchback scene. And to think that Chaney did all that makeup out of a toolkit and did some of the climbing and created a harness so he'd be in the same like crippled posture, and the dedication. The guy must have been possessed by the art.
A lot of his makeup, he went through a lot of pain while he was shooting these things. So yeah, he was very dedicated.
Your road to redemption is paved with tombstones. No quarter, kill all masters. Go to noquarterkillallmasters.com. Rated R.